This is Robert Kalua with the news on Zodiac. The headlines. Constitutional Court outlines directions of managing a case in which the opposition DPP wants it to nullify. The magistrate said the loan magistrate at Mkukula is overwhelmed with cases, hence the need to have the case transferred to the Lilongwe Magistrate Court. The National Economic Empowerment Fund, NIF, says about 57,000 Malawians have accessed loans in excess of 16 billion kwacha from the time the institution rebranded in September last year to date. NIF board chairperson Jennifer Mtema, however, says the demand on the ground requires not less than 50 billion kwacha a year. This was disclosed during an interface with some small and medium entrepreneurs in Lilongwe, where some SMEs declined protracted processes to access the NIF loans.
Speaking at an interface meeting between small and medium enterprises at the National Economic Empowerment Fund, some SMEs said the process required to access loans discouraged many in the country. A representative of the SMEs, Edward Chingen, said the requirement by NIF stands in the way in their access to loans.
Requirements which they were needed, mainly on collaterals and also on audited accounts, which has been very challenging for small businesses to have a collateral which they were looking for, and also to have audited accounts for them to loan you some money.
But NIF board chairperson Jefta Mtema says the organization is open to all in the country. Mtema added that so far 57,000 people across the country have had access to loans since the organization was rebranded last year.
57,000 Malawians. I think in terms of groups, we are talking about over 5,700 groups. But also take note that we do have individuals. I've talked about 57,000 as individuals. But in terms of groups, 5,700, I've left out the SMEs, and I've also left out some of the individuals that have benefited directly from these loans.
Meanwhile, Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Peter Simbani, says there is need for SMEs to be trained as they play a critical role in spurring country's economy.
The study that was done by FinScope in 2019 showed that maybe only 10% of our MSMEs, or of the medium enterprises, are able to access financing. And 5% of the small enterprises are able to access financing, while only 3% of the micro enterprises are able to access financing through loans.
Last month, NIF told Parliament that they would need 50 billion kwacha to fully service Malawians. However, only 30 billion kwacha was provided for in the 2021-2022 national budget, and there is a deficit of 20 billion kwacha.
The Roads Fund Administration has ruled out reducing the initial user fees that were announced. Speaking to Zodiac Tuesday, spokesperson for the fund, Masauko Ngwaluko, said so far they have met with the Parliamentary Committee on Transport and Legal Committee, and they will continue consultations with the general public. Meanwhile, good governance commentator Wanda Fumkuche has advised the Roads Fund Administration to be transparent. Mike Ngemezulu with more in this report.
The introduction of toll gate fees raised heated debate between government and the civil society. This prompted the Ministry of Finance to shift commencement of the exercise from September to October to pave way for consultations. Now, Roads Fund Administration spokesperson Masauko Ngwaluko has told Zodiac that they are optimistic that the toll gates will be operational in October. However, Ngwaluko further said that the administration will maintain its stand and fees will not be reduced as people expected.
In terms of prices, we explained to them on how the price was settled. It was settled according to research that was conducted between 2017 and 2018. So this is not a new price.
Chairperson for the Human Rights Defenders Coalition, Gift Trappins, has pleaded with the administration to revise the fees in the interest of Malawians.
It is important for government officials to understand this. So we don't expect our government officials to be arrogant whenever Malawians are raising concerns. And we raise these concerns because they are coming from Malawians. So we expect them to review the fees.
Governance expert Wanda Fumkuche has advised Roads Fund Administration to be transparent and accountable on the funds.
They should make sure that the money that they are getting, it should be seen to change the conditions of roads or even development in general. So that in turn will make people complain less on the fee because they are seeing what their money is doing to their country.
toll-gate fees, which have raised heated debate, range from 1,700 kwacha and 20,000 kwacha.
The Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace, CCJP, of the Mzuzu Diocese says prolonged stay of council officials in one office coupled with failure to properly reconcile financial accounts is fueling corruption in local councils. CCJP coordinator for the diocese, Felix Manda, spoke at an interface meeting with jury bearers of the city, noting that for long, public funds allocated to local councils have not been accounted for, a situation which is affecting development in the country. Tuera Kumwenda with more in this report.
The interface meeting was meant to bring together officials from the Mzuzu City Council, Member of Parliament and Ward Councillors for the city. Coordinator for the Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace in Mzuzu, Felix Manda, who organized the meeting, says there is need to fully intensify awareness on accountability and transparency in the city so that allocated funds to the council benefits the residents.
The corrupt tendencies that we have in our society is deep-rooted, and whenever we talk about transparency and accountability to the duty bearers, they feel like maybe we are just talking about it.
Deputy Mayor for Mzuzu City Council, Desire Nyirenda, noted that corruption and misappropriation of funds in councils can end if there can be collaboration of various stakeholders.
I think the challenge is sometimes we don't work together when you want to work together. For example, if you want to implement a project, you need to be together. You need to go together so that you should be moving at the same pace. That can help for us to work together. But if we are still doing what we are doing, that will not help us.
Chairman from Jengautua East Development Committee in the city, Amon Nyasulu, says increasing abuse of public funds is affecting development in his area where there is no proper road and a medical clinic. For Zodiak in Mzuzu, I'm Tuera Kumwenda.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Mipando ya sofa, dining set, mabedi, coffee table zisamakhale ngati zolandira kuli kufanana ayi. Ku Davina Furnitures amapanga mipando, masofa set, dining set mmene inuyo eni yake mukufunira, podziwa kuti anthufe timakhala nkukonda kosiyanasiyana.
Awa ni masombenya amalawi watoto Malawi 2063 Kufika 2063 Kale Wokomera aliyense Achinyamata tikwirane manja Tukula Malawi Achinyamata tikale patsogo Tukula Malawi 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 Wozimira paeka Malawi Wokomera aliyense Malawi 2063 kusinda dziko lathu mokomera aliyense.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue. Constitutional Court outlines directions of managing a case in which the opposition DPP wants it to nullify the 2020 fresh presidential election. Roads Fund Administration rules out reducing the user fees that initially announced. Lilongwe Water Board discloses that it is losing at least 10 billion kwacha annually due to non-revenue water. And in sports, FAM says it will revive the project of certifying football academies following an influx of unregistered academies in recent months. Moving on with the news, the Lilongwe Water Board has disclosed that it is losing at least 10 billion kwacha annually due to non-revenue water. This has been revealed by the board's chief executive officer, Sili Mbewe, today on the sidelines of a stakeholders meeting in Lilongwe on how to improve the situation. Non-revenue water is water that has been produced and is lost before it reaches the customer, either through leaks, theft, or metering inaccuracies. Madali Supiri with more in this report.
According to the Chief Executive Officer for the Lilongwe Water Board, Sili Mbewe, 42% of their production is being lost through non-revenue water, translating into 11 million cubic meters a year, which is about 10 billion kwacha. But he said through the Lilongwe Strengthening Capacity Project, which is being done in conjunction with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, aims at enhancing capacity for non-revenue water reduction as well as improving efficiency of water use in the city.
We conceptualized this project along with our counterpart, but again, further and above, we are also looking at non-revenue water reduction as one of our key thematic areas in our strategic plan. Our target is to say within the next 3 years, at least we should have moved that percentage to manageable levels. Ideally, looking at the standards, somewhere around 25% is the target that we are looking at.
But what exactly is JICA's role in this project? Kazuhiro Tambara is its chief representative.
We dispatch Japanese experts who have a variety of expertise in this sector to Malawi to work with the Lilongwe water boards. The point is that to working with Malawian counterpart, the Japanese expert, together with Malawian counterpart, we can deliver our knowledge and even create suitable technology or knowledge which can be created through the mutual collaboration.
The project is expected to be completed in 2024. For Zodiac, this is Madalito Piri reporting.
The vendors who ply trade at Kamuzu Road have resolved to stop paying daily market fee for the council's failure to address their call for election for a new market committee, alleging Member of Parliament for Salima Central is influencing the council's decision. Acting chairperson for the market committee, William Ponda, has told us no council official met them to hear their concerns when they thronged the council offices. Joseph Mazizu with more in this report.
The vendors Tuesday morning marched to the DC's office in protest to the council's failure to hold market committee elections for Kamuzu Road Market. According to acting chairman William Mponda, this is a recipe for violence, where alleging some politicians are influencing the council to hold elections for their political reasons. However, Member of Parliament for Salima Central constituency, Gerard Gabiseni Pili, admitting having met some of the vendors who complained to him, says all his actions were meant to sanitize the market.
As a leader for this constituency, I accept or receive complaints from various stakeholders. One of the stakeholders that are involved in the elections came to complain to me that the MEC and the DC's office has appointed a committee belonging to GPP, that is including Mr. Mponda, who is a cadet, that they are the ones who will be like a standing committee before elections. And the concerned stakeholders were not involved. People had to come to me if I sort out their problem, their grievances. And what I did was just forward them first to the DC's office so that they can give their complaints and be resolved right away.
Meanwhile, Salima District Council spokesperson Grace Kabatuga has asked for more time before commenting on the matter. Reporting for Zodiac from Salima, I am Joseph Mazizi.
2 of the 3 nurses that died in a road accident in Salima on Monday have been laid to rest in their respective homes Tuesday afternoon. President for National Organizations of Nurses and Midwives in Malawi, Shout Simeza, has bemoaned the sudden death of 3 nurses at a time the country is overstretched by COVID-19 pandemic. Christopher Sunday reports.
Hundreds of people gathered at Mbwana village under Chigalu area in Blantyre on Tuesday to pay their last respects to the fallen nurse Hezwelo Njawala, who was among the people who died in a road accident in Salima on Monday. As Njawala was being laid to rest in Blantyre, the other female nurse, Alice Mera, was being buried in Nkhotakota. The other one, Kevin Kalulu, is expected to be buried on Wednesday in Nchewu. The departed nurses, Kalulu and Njawala, were working for St. Anne's Mission Hospital, while Alice Mera was working for Nkhotakota District Hospital. National Organizations of Nurses and Midwives President Shouts Galanganda Simeza has described the death of 3 nurses as retrogressive, considering that the country is overstretched with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, it is a tragedy to the organization because, NOM is a member-based organization. So the more members we have, the stronger the organization we are. And it is also a retrogression on our campaign when we've been engaging government to recruit more nurses, midwives and health workers, especially this time when we're fighting against COVID-19.
Human Resources Officer for St. Anne's Hospital, Harry Masoka, said the hospital has lost disciplined and hard-working members of staff. The Salima accident has so far claimed 7 lives. Reporting for Zodiak from Blantyre, this is Christopher Sande.
Let's now have a look at sports. Football Association of Malawi says it will revive its project of certifying football academies following an influx of unregistered academies in recent months. The FA's compliance manager Casper Jengale told us that the project was halted due to the departure of former technical director John Kaputa. But now, the FA will resuscitate the project. Bright Kanyama with more in this report.
In 2019, the Football Association of Malawi raised concern over the influx of unregistered football academies in the country, and the FA announced plans to put in place measures to tame the vice, but there is nothing to show for till to date. The project, which was under the firm's technical department, headed by the then technical director John Kaputa, was aimed at protecting players from unfair treatment, controlling player movements, as well as creating a conducive environment for player development in academies. Football Association of Malawi compliance manager Casper Jengale told us that now that the office of the technical director has been temporarily filled by Benjamin Kumwenda, the FA will introduce new measures which academy owners and those planning to establish an academy must follow. Among the measures, Jengale says academy owners, coaches and officials must first be cleared from any criminal charges, must have a fully fledged facility with 2 playing fields. Meanwhile, Jengale says the new measures, which will be introduced in the next 2 months, will be presented to the executive committee for approval.
In the next month or so, the regulations will come out upon approval by the farm executive. So we'll be targeting the next farm executive to present these regulations for their approval, and then we start to effect these regulations to ensure that academies are properly regulated.
Among other notable football academies certified by farm are Ascent Soccer, Play Football Malawi and Kangaroo Academies. For Zodiac, this is Bright Kanyama.
Well, that's about what we had time for in this edition of news. But before we go, a look at the headlines. Constitutional Court outlines directions of managing a case in which the opposition DPP wants it to nullify the 2020 fresh presidential election. Roads Fund Administration rules out reducing the user fees that initially announced. The Lilongwe Water Board discloses that it is losing at least 10 billion kwacha annually due to non-revenue water. And in sports, FAM says it will revive its project of certifying football academies following an influx of unregistered academies in recent months. Or visit our website, zodiacmalawi.com, for more news. My name is Robert Kalua. Thanks for watching.
Getting GoTV was the best decision, James.